So with Garo off the docket, these should be a lot shorter videos now, until Garo rolls around in half a year again. So, Ninninger. This one was stupid but enjoyable, if only for some of the quirks of it. See, it's focused more around Nagi again, but it's one of those that there's supposed to be a character moment for him, but, a character development stuff, but as it focuses just as much on everyone else, and the plot to the monster than him having this story arc to him, it's once more completely derailed, as have most of the personal stories for the show once the monster shows up. Whereas in other series, usually, it's a bit more focused, mainly because most of the episodes have been fight scenes. Anyways, it starts off with him being annoyed that though he was the first one to use advanced ninjutsu, that everyone else has progressed farther than him on this once he figured it out. It's like, he has the inspiration to try it, and then once everyone else learns of it, they have an easier time of pulling off than him. Izayoi sends another ninjutsu student, this time themed after a badger, but everyone refers to him as a tanuki, aka raccoon. Now, this annoys me as, I shouldn't say it annoys me, but it's inconsistent, because this badger-themed monster has all the capabilities that would be accredited to, the mythical version of the tanuki. The transforming itself into other things' appearance by using a leaf on its head, the shadow duplication, all that mythology stuff. So it's kind of like mixing your I'm not sure if the right phrase is mixing your metaphors, but it's kind of like, okay, better phrase, mixing your mythologies for it, because badgers have their own kind of thing. I'm blanking on what specifically it is, but it's distinct. And it all starts off from an off comment from Ariaka no Kagami, Big Bad's wife, that I think set this off, and it's like, I would buy that these are all mythology-themed monsters that, demons, demonic things, but they can't keep the damn things straight. I mean, Lord knows, there are so many, divergent tales of King Arthur, but, it's like, it's kind of like the more basic things, so like saying that the, sword in the stone was the same sword that was gifted to him from the Lady in the Lake. The sword in the stone was not Excalibur. And like that. It's a pretty consistent thing through all the mythos, and, it's like, you're screwing that up, kind of thing. So, the monster's specialty also does not relate to anything I'm aware of in there, in that it steals their specialties, the thing they're best at, and it's first shown by stealing Kasumi's intelligence. And then she proceeds to act exactly like Takaharu. Yeah, what's actually funny about this is, during the episode, they retrieve Katsumi's specialty, her intelligence, yeah, I just said that, and try to give it back to her, but she sees something on the ground, and because she's stupid, she ducks at it exactly at that moment, and Takaharu, who has also had his specialty stolen, his specialty is apparently his indomitable will and spirit, which, no, his specialty is being an idiot. And, anyways, he gets the intelligence, and the actor is still terrible, but, like, the character leaps and bounds in how he is... Everything that is annoying for, like, 5 minutes out of the episode just completely disappears, and he becomes a more well-rounded character. I mean, if I could buy the hot-blooded idiot thing, if he was less of an overall idiot. And I just finished playing and recording my Halloween video, which is Disgaea 2 this year, and Disgaea 2's protagonist is a hot-blooded individual. He's passionate about fighting. They repeatedly lampshade how much of a battle maniac he is in there, and he is not fucking stupid. I'm not even kidding. He's like really intelligent. He just prefers to punch things because that's how he likes to fight. And you know what? They could have done that with Takaharu. I mean, they've tried to repeatedly that show that he doesn't like to think, so he doesn't. But ninja are supposed to be clever. Ninja are supposed to be intelligent. Ninja are supposed to outsmart their enemies. And the only one out of the entire team that doesn't ever do that is fucking Takaharu. What is this? I don't even. It's like, it's back to my complaints with Naruto. Naruto never shows... Okay, Naruto shows cleverness, but he doesn't really... He's not really a ninja. In fact, most of the ninjas in Naruto are not actually ninja, but that's beside the point. But yeah, because of this, Takaharu becomes a tolerable character. And he also, you know, actually for once collaborates and works with the team to counter the monster's plan, in that it's down to him, Nagi, and Fuka at this point, with Yakumo's magic having been stolen because that's his specialty, and they keep bashing on Yakumo for being reliant on his magic. And you know what a ninja is? They're an individual that uses any advantage they have to achieve their mission. So, while he's not as proficient as in ninjutsu, magic is, for all basic purposes, equivalent to their ninjutsu. It's just more flexible than the limitations they're relying on the shuriken. Yakumo only needs his one medium to do all of his spellcrafting, and his spellcrafting has been pretty varied, so I still don't get why they're railing on him for using his best skill to offset, I wouldn't say a disadvantage, but to... Okay, I guess that is what they're kind of railing on, that he's becoming more reliant on his magic instead of becoming more adept at ninjutsu. But I would figure that, you know, once you're good at one skill, you're not exactly stuck with it, but it takes more... No, not takes more. You become used to certain ways of doing things, I guess. And Kinji's special ability is speaking Japanese. I'm thankful they don't have him speak in English that much, because the actor for Kinji does not speak English well. Even though he's supposed to be an American ninja warrior. Yes. I would have taken his guitar playing skills, personally, but they don't seem to have him play the guitar much, aside from the few riffs he does on his sword gun guitar thing. I'm blanking on the name currently. Yeah, Kinji doesn't exactly have much in the way of showcased outlying skills. He's just a good all-around ninja, and maybe his advanced ninjutsu skill, but that wouldn't have been showcaseable, as then they lock him in a cage. Anyways, they ambush the monster using a plan of using Takaharu as the bait, with Fuka being led to leading the monster to him, and then going off to free the others, while Nagi uses a new combination technique to possess a boat. Possess a boat. You know, in the combination sequence of the shuriken types that they use for this, they mention a transformation technique. Why couldn't he have been transformed into the boat? I think that would have been a lot more simple, showed actual ninjutsu talent, and I don't think... Okay, there's the Yamanaka clan in Naruto, and then there's the thing with the Naruto again, in that ninja skills that are not actually ninja skills. You know, you disguise yourself as something else. That's ninja. Possessing people, that's not ninja. Possessing objects, still not ninja. But yeah, they use that to get the monster's satchel, which is holding all of their specialty skills. They regain them, and they beat it down, despite its attempts to counter it. It goes giant. They go to the Megazord Brawl, but when it dies in giant form, Izayoi gets the fourth of these gears that he has been collecting. It has been confirmed that Kyoman's a he. But they are used to power power his own partner ninja mech with all of the data from its battles recorded, so it is completely immune to all of the attacks from the standard mecha. Problem with this. It has not... They have not... If I'm blanking on this, the last 3 episodes, I cannot remember them using lesser combinations to fight any of the giant form monsters. No Powo Shurikenjin, no UFO Shurikenjin, no Shurikenjin Surfer, and is there one more? I feel like there's one more that I'm forgetting that has a combination there. But they have used the standard form mechs, they've used King Shurikenjin, and they've used Hao-Oh Shurikenjin. So, there's... what's the phrase? A disconnect here, in that they still have mecha combinations that could work against Izayoi's giant mecha, and yet she's pulling this out, simply so they can have this series' second full combiner mech premiere next episode. I figured that it might have been better to either, one, show all those combinations in a battle previously, so this plot hole isn't filled, or, you know, just delay one more episode so Izayoi can draw them all out. It seems like Izayoi is a very intelligent, duplicitous, and cunning individual. I think he would have tried some way to do that to keep all bases covered. I mean, yeah, he probably can't predict that they'd have a new set of mechs appear out of literally nowhere, but, you know, that's the failing of most enemies of this type when the team gets another machine. They don't expect that kind of thing to show up. So yeah, this week's Ninninger was stupid, but entertainingly stupid. And, you know, it kind of had, it was playing with the status quo again, which I can admit I can get behind, ultimately. Now, Drives technically ended last week, but this was more of a epilogue conclusion story arc for Shinosuke and his character before they went on to Ghost. And Ghost admittedly did finally get a straight early bird cameo. He's also in Surprise Future, but, you know, it's kind of the same thing. More setting up and establishing the rules of his series before they start the show and do the storyline flashback to set everything up properly. So, as things wind down with the special special investigation unit, Shinosuke is looking over old case files about Neil Shea, the organization that he and his former partner were chasing on the day of the global freeze and a bit before that for their activities. Because about a month or two ago in the series timeline, they re-emerged with Roy Mute assistance. And during that battle, they came across a small eye-shaped device. A icon. The Newton icon, as we are made aware of for the normal series events. Now, this is actually continuity, as from Surprise Future, which occurs, of course, before that event. Kamen Rider Ghost gets involved in things and uses that form. So, I'm not completely certain, but considering Surprise Future's take on every stake in events, I think it's possible that Ghost ends up dropping the icon and needs to recover it. That, or B, this early bird cameo flashback for when Ghost is first seen in things and loses the new. No, I shouldn't say that, because the Newton icon has been in the Special Investigation Unit's possession since that incident. So If the timeline syncs up, then yeah, he'd have to lose it in the surprise future event. It's picked up by the Neoshade criminals, or if it's not lost in surprise future, then he has to have it misplaced at some point, and then, like I said, Neoshade picks it up and intends to use it somehow in addition to the Roidmunes. But Shinosuke, Go, and Chase, because this is set before Chase died, go to track down and bring in the Neo Shade operatives, defeating the Roidmunes with them. But of course, Ghost's enemies, the Ganma, get involved to recover the Icon, because they are after these devices as well. And, you know, it leads to Shinosuke and Krim as Drive not being able to counter them because they cannot see them. The Ganma are only fightable by Ghost and people with Ghost's kind of abilities, because otherwise they are immaterial spirits, wraiths, phantoms, whatever. This is a kind of specialization we're not quite used to. I mean, most of the time, the Riders and Sentai usually face enemies they are most capable for, but it's usually not to the complete exclusion of other factions being incapable of fighting them at all. We had that with Tokuger versus Kyoryuger, where one faction could not fight the other's enemies, which to me was a pretty forward justification for that team up, as it never seems to pop up with regularity. It's like literally barely if ever seen, just because it makes for horrific track records with the team-ups where, yeah, we can only fight your enemies, but what about all these other monsters that popped out of nowhere? Were they all your enemies? Oh no, these are for some, these are for some, these are for some, and, you know, what I'm getting at is, no one keeps track of this after the series is over, so why set it up as such? I mean, I could get the invisibility thing of them not being able to see the ghosts, but I don't see the point of why, they couldn't even touch them in their rider form if it's just going to be ignored later on. See where I'm going with this? I'm trying to think of a good Kamen Rider example, but yeah, Oz was seen fighting the Imagine with little issue. Wizard and Gaim fought like Helheim beasts. Oh yeah, there was the whole thing in that underworld inside a group of kids' heads that Fours assisted Wizard on. Wizard and Oz did not seem to have much trouble fighting Dopants briefly, although, oh right, that fight was subverted by the 7 Legendary Riders, and they had no issues fighting Dopants and Greed. So, yeah, it's wildly inconsistent in this kind of thing. So it doesn't pop up enough, and it's forgotten afterwards that it's not exactly an issue for me. It's just I'm annoyed because this is going to be forgotten later, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that happens. That's the end of the flashback, and then we flash forward to Shinosuke with Kiriko, and they're continuing the investigation, and fortunately there's not much to investigate, because the icon that was stolen from their evidence lockers has a tracker in it thanks to Rina, because it was part of the Special Unit Division's materials. And this is actually, you know, for a early bird cameo epilogue, it was actually pretty well written and presented, because everyone was shown as competent, using their best skills, and, you know, uniting back together for one last case and everything. And yeah, it's the majority of the story is more focused on after not a full year, but like the last 6 months of Krim having his back. Well, technically he's being a fanny pack on his front, but with the constant presence of a partner of that nature, that Shinosuke is missing him and second-guessing himself after, you know, putting his life back together, getting out of the depression and ennui and, you know, getting back to fully being himself, except, you know, with the car phrases in there. His engine was stalled. He's in top gear. His engine is starting. You know, that kind of thing that's been present throughout the show. And, you know, the only reason he's come back more to himself, wiser to his own foibles, so he can better check himself without needing someone to be there. They don't phrase it as that. They still phrase him as a hot-headed idiot, which has only been a thing since the Ninninger and Drive crossover. Seriously, it was not part of his initial characterization in the flashback, nor how he was presented as when he was, you know, in his professional mindset. It was more like he was a more inexperienced cop, and in a moment of weakness, not a moment of weakness, in a split-second decision, he did that damage due to his former partner almost gotten killed due to the effects of heavy acceleration, screwing him up. And yeah, there's a difference between impulsive and hot-headed idiots. And, you know, like I said, after the Drive Ninja crossover, the character kind of got derailed to be more along those lines when he was never characterized as such beforehand. So yeah, they keep trying to stress that, and I really don't get that from him. Because he only gets that kind of impulsive when something is threatened, like, say, Kiriko. When the Ganma attacks and Ghost makes his second appearance fully to fight it off, Kiriko ends up being abducted by the last person part of Neo Shade, the previous leader, and he's just a guy. Yeah. Ghost has an honestly pretty good premiere. There's a bit of shaky camera and positioning issues, but I think that's more because of where they stage it being an old industrial district. I don't know if that's one of the old standing sets or in the toy backlot or a location shoot, but yeah, I think the shaky cam is more due to how they were choreographing the fighting with regards to how much space they had to move the camera around without, you know, getting some of the personnel in the shot. So, you know, I'll forgive it there as opposed to shaky cam that you have in wide open areas. That I'm going to be discussing that with Fuzz again. But yeah, the icon is in Shinosuke's position at this point, so he can see both Kamen Ghost and the Ganma and the entire fight now, which will not, as I had addressed, will likely not be a thing in the next brought up ever again past a certain point in. Actually, you know, it could be used as a plot device in Ghost, the series proper, about why most people would not recognize the Ganma attacks and, you know, keep the whole conflict contained, but I'm betting there's going to be a period where they just completely forget about it and have it just a straight-up monster attack, and they're going to forget about it going on past Ghost. Anyways, after that battle concludes, Ghost's little helper Ghost, whose name I'm forgetting right now because the show is not actually premiered for it to really get ingrained into me. I apologize, I am terrible with names, you all know this. Asks for the icon back, but Shinosuke still... Ghost understands that he still needs it to assist in closing the case, because Kiriko's been kidnapped, and as he goes to confront him, a memory is made manifest by the icon that creates a spiritual recreation of Krim and the Drive Driver and the Shift cars. And I think that's part of the icon's ability to manifest the powers and abilities of great men. Maybe that'll tie in better to the show. Maybe it's just a ghostly impression left of the driver that, thanks to the icon's abilities, they can manifest them and allow them to transform, but Shinosuke does not use that power to save Kiriko. He trusts in his own abilities, like he believes Krim would have wanted him to keep moving forward even though his partner is no longer with him. admittedly, he's trying to save his partner, his actual partner in this, but that is neither here nor there. But it's more to mirror the events of his former partner, that this is a person that means a lot to him, so no monster interference. Can he make this shot to save Kiriko? And he makes it, and it's like a lot more. It has a good moment of him judging the choice and judging the shots and not firing wildly in surprise that that was part of the problem in the Day Zero incident, that he didn't he didn't take in all of the information as slowed as the heavy acceleration wave hit for the global freeze, the original global freeze. And it's like being more aware of himself and everything around him and his capabilities to judge the moment that would be best, and keeping the resolve and accepting the circumstances. And it's a good moment. It's a really good moment and a really good way to end out the show. With him taking that shot and making it. And taking in the person that played a large part in why he was stuck like that for so long. So with the case closed, that's the last case of the Special Investigation Unit, and Shinosuke gets transferred to the Major Crimes Division of the Tokyo Police, which presumably, from the epilogue stuff we got for everybody else, it's implied that a lot of the personnel that also went up to Major Case, so there's still going to be a team there and whatnot. It's just that they're back on they're not stuck in the they're not stuck at the DMV like they used to be. Not DMV, the driving school like they used to be. So yeah, that was a good way to end out Drive properly, even though the main story is done with. And, it doesn't really feel like an epilogue episode, despite, that kind of having started and in the last one. It just feels like a conclusion, a proper conclusion to a Kamen Rider series with all the story points wrapped up and people continuing to move on with their lives, but there's no feeling of wanting more, which is a problem some Rider series can have with their conclusions. They either don't have an ending or they leave us unsatisfied. This to me was a satisfying conclusion to Drive. I am planning to get the Kamen Rider Chaser movie that's going to be set before this at some point in the show's timeline that they are releasing next April, and I am looking forward to what they're going to do for the next movie war, which should have the returns of most of the main cast from the preview details we've been getting. General updates, I'm working on the 5 script. First of this year's Halloween releases on Saturday. I've got some good movies picked out for that. I think that's everything I have. So I will see you all next week, and I will endeavor to get a vlog out next week, despite how, well, I'll probably be editing the 5's videos by then. See you then.